Hey guys, Automedic Garage back today. I'm gonna show you a whole stack of parts here, and I'm gonna show you where it's all going. So this whole pile of parts that's all right here in all these boxes are for Miss Automedic's Excursion. As y'all know, I kind of had to twist her arm to get an Excursion, but she is happy with it, but it's not exactly the way she wants it, and I want her happy with it. So we're gonna do kind of a whole transformation with this. We got a set of 35-inch tires for it, and we're gonna go up just slightly on the lift on it. I'm gonna add the two lower spring packs back to the rear leaf, and we got a lift shackle for the front. I think it's an inch or inch and a half, which should make it sit level and have plenty of clearance for 35s, and it will still fit in the garage. We got the new updated 6.0 grille in the box over there, the 05 to 07 headlights. We got the new, I think, what is it, 8 to 15 mirrors to put on it. I'm gonna see if I can't get my mobile tent guy out here. We're gonna match these windows for her. But the biggest thing of this whole entire project is what's in these boxes right here. So this is Vivid Vinyl or Vivid Wraps, gloss white wrap, and this is charcoal metallic, I think is what they call this, by 3M. So we're gonna wrap the whole truck, and the reason we're wrapping the truck is this has so many paint flaws with touch-up spots all in it. This white doesn't even match this white. This whole panel's been painted at some point. I went to take the pinstripes off in the past and started lifting paint here because I think this truck was painted and they just immediately threw a pinstripe on it, and so it started pulling the paint off. They didn't let it cure up good. So we couldn't get rid of the 4x4 logos either. We got a bunch of touch-up spots like this. So we're gonna block sand a lot of this stuff and wrap the truck. I just took it to my body guy the other day. They did a bunch of paintless dent removal stuff. This whole side of the truck is actually pretty straight, nothing on the back. But we have a dent right here. He didn't quite get all of it out, and I told him that's fine, just make it look as good as you can, so that looks a lot better. There were several dings in the driver's door. He got all of them out, so the truck is pretty much dent-free now. It's just the paint is just not great. So we're gonna do the white with the gray at the bottom. So we're gonna remove all of the cladding off of here. And when we go back with two-tone, we're not gonna do the arch over the fenders. We're gonna do it like the Super Duties are, like my truck is, where the paint line is just right there where the body line is, and just straight back. So basically just two-tone from here to all the way back right there behind the tire. We got a set of black handles to put on here. I'm just not a fan of having the white handles because you have this happen all the time with it. So we'll have black handles, and all that stuff has to be removed to wrap it anyways. So that's the big deal with the video that I'm kind of stressing doing, because I've never done it. Been doing my research and homework and knowing what to do and what not to do. Probably not gonna get super detailed on doing the wrap. The main thing that we're showing here is just the transformation of the truck, because my goal is to make this thing look as perfect as I possibly can. This is her daily driver, but this truck, when I say daily driver, she picks the kids up from school, she goes and gets groceries in it, runs errands, but it doesn't get driven 5-6 days a week and sit out in the sun in a parking lot. So when I wrap this, the wrap should last significantly longer than it normally does, because this truck does not get out in the weather like most daily drivers do. Sits in the garage most of the day, every day, except for when it's getting driven. So hopefully I can get maybe 5-6 years, whatever, out of that wrap. But that wrap cost what it would have cost me to have that one panel fixed, and I would have still had an old paint job on the truck that needs a lot of attention. Troy's coming tomorrow, and we're gonna work on debadging, taking all the cladding off, mirrors, all that stuff I was telling y'all about. This is basically just gonna be a video of showing us getting Miss Automedic's truck all fixed up for her. Kind of started on this today. Her door handle on the barn door back here was broke. I took the panel apart, fixed the handle, re-riveted it back on. I had to put some cable adjusters from that I have in the drawer here for dirt bikes and four-wheelers on the cable, because the plastic ends had broke on it. Dusty came by and installed this sub for me today. I could have done it, but that's what he does on a daily, is install wiring in trucks. So he came by and did that. I did a favor for him, put a muffler on his truck. So I got a quick clip of that, him throwing that in. So we got Dusty painless wiring over here, hooking the sub up for Miss Molly. Had pulled the spare tire out. He's fishing all our wires up there, so she can have a little boom boom now in the Excursion. Quick disconnect, so we'll be able to use the back of the truck like always and get it out of the way if we need to. So we will catch up with y'all in the morning and get started on transforming this thing for Miss Automedic. Hey guys, it's the next day. Troy invited himself over.
I was lonely.
Yeah, he was lonely. No, he came over. We're going to start stripping everything off this truck like I mentioned y'all last night. That's step one. And then step two is going to be a whole bunch of prepping because this is almost like painting is the way I look at it. We got to get everything clean, everything wiped down, no grease, no oil, nothing like that on anything. So we're going to put y'all on time lapse just for doing all this. I think Troy's getting ready to start on the mirrors or pulling the door panel off so we can do the mirrors and the handles and get busy. So we'll catch up with y'all in a minute. All right, so we started pulling the cladding off, and I'm super glad I started with this side because I didn't realize that we have these slots down here in the bottom. So wrapping that the way that I was thinking is not gonna work. So the cladding's gonna have to stay and get wrapped. We're gonna clean this, clean that piece I took off, and I guess we're gonna try to reattach without these rivets. I'm gonna put the wrap right over where it was riveted, hope that's gonna hide it. Either that or I'm gonna try to maybe fill the holes in the cladding a little bit. I'm not sure what I'm gonna fill with, but we'll brainstorm that. But other than that, we are all stripped. So the only thing we got a eraser wheel remove is the 4x4 emblems and where all the window guards were up there and where the emblems were. And I got all the emblems saved except for this one. This one was super glued on here, this stuff. I mean, it's been on there for 22, 23 years almost. We're gonna address this cladding. It's gonna be time to do all of our cleaning and prepping and wiping everything down with isopropyl alcohol and getting ready for doing some wrapping. I really hate I couldn't take the cladding off. And I'll just have to clean down in here and tuck the white wrap down in there best I can. Troy, you going to the beach?
Yep.
Got your beach towel ready?
New beach.
So we washed it after making all the mess with taking off stickers and everything else. We have this little rust spot here, which I sanded, which I'm gonna let this set up some more, and we're just gonna feather this edge because most of that's gonna get covered up with that trim anyways, but I wanted to address that. We got the 4x4 off the back. This one came off just fine, nothing left on it. But this one, I think they did the same thing with when they did the pinstripe here. So I actually had to sand a little bit to get all that smoothed out. Sanded this, feathered that in. Can't even really hardly feel anything now. Hit it with some primer. Did the same thing here where the clear was starting to mess up on that. Got it all smoothed out. Made sure this was all smooth where you couldn't see any lines from where the emblems were. All we're gonna put back is the Excursion. We're gonna leave the Power Stroke one off this time. Got all of our trim off. So we've gone and wiped every single nook and cranny with the isopropyl alcohol. And we're gonna wipe each panel as we go again to make sure it's all prepped. I start on one of these back doors. It seems like one of the easier things to start on because like I said, I'm not a professional at this, never done it before. So then probably move to the hood. That'd probably be the next easiest thing to do. What I want to do last is this whole section, because that can be one piece that runs right there all the way along the top and comes down to here. We're gonna wrap the white first and then wrap the trim. We'll set y'all up here and we're gonna see how it goes. All right.
Okay. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Here we go. Oh, we just squeeze the rest of that in first. You got that towel? Squeeze that end down flat. Like down this way where I started. Shit, you're good. All right. Now, I'm going to pull. Work this over towards the hinge.
So once you put heat on it, then it activates.
The heat is what really makes it stick. Is that the window? So thank goodness Kyle came over. He's wrapped some race cars before and some other stuff. So got this door all done. We have a seam right here, and this is the old factory clear protected piece that you're seeing, that bevel right there underneath. So we got this door done. We're finishing up on this one. We're gonna go jump up on the hood after that. We got our cut tape here. We're gonna cut this edge right there. Maybe I can show you all that. Open the door, do all our edges, and then the back of this is done. When this is all done, I'm gonna mask all this off and sand these hinges and just paint them white. And get those taken care of that way. All right, the back is done. It looks like we actually know what we're doing. Kyle's up here prepping the hood. I'm gonna set y'all up and let you watch us try to get this hood done. Hey guys, we're back. It's the next day. Me and Kyle stayed out here till 1 working on this hood, and I think we're ballparking that we spent somewhere between 2 and 3 hours on the hood. Let me turn you around here and show you. I think it turned out good. Your wheelchair's squeaky. So everything turned out great. This is actually the first side we did here that turned out great. And then we really struggled. We had the little struggle bus here on this side. And it doesn't look bad. It might actually look worse on camera than it does here, but you can see where we got a little bit rough with it here. And we didn't use, the only place we really used heat was finishing this where it rolls down and then wraps down the hood. The rest of it was just all cold stretched. We're going to jump on doing the doors, I think, so that we can give Troy something to do, so he's not sitting here begging for something to do in his wheelchair. And he can start putting mirrors and stuff on, so we're going to start wrapping on the doors and go from there. Like I said, this is not a wrap tutorial because we're not professionals.
No.
Hey, don't bust your head. So we cut this big long piece so that I'm not wasting scraps, and before y'all say it, I cut it a little long. But I'd rather err on the side of caution because I'm not a professional at doing this and know that I have a piece more than enough to do this. So we're gonna cut out the big section, which is the back cargo area and the strip that's going to go all the way to the front. We're going to roll that up, and then we're going to do the 2 doors out of the scrap that's left over. We improvised with some magnets. Those are welding magnets. We put them in plastic bags so we don't get the wrap dirty. So we're going to get this cut and yeah, get some pieces going. All right, so we had you on time lapse, and it took so long we had to stop for lunch. We've also had several bush lattes in the meantime, but it turned out great. This was aggravating, working up here and working this corner right here, and of course stretching that straight. But we got it all done. It's all, I think you can barely see the edge right up in there. Gas cap's wrapped. We had a uh-oh right here because we wrapped it and we're like, why is it not sticking? We pulled it back and it had lifted about this much paint off in a section. You may be able to see it, really see the outline of it. So we sanded it, and then we had to splice this in. Not super happy with that, but this is an awful big piece to waste. So it can always be redone later if we needed to make it a little bit neater. There's the other joint right there. But that cladding piece is going to come right here, so you're not going to see that much of that line. But anyways, we're going to jump on these doors. Kyle's got a door wipe down, so definitely brighter than the old white. Well, we are done with this side, with the white at least. Turned out good. Her line turned out nice against the trim without taking all of it off, so I really didn't want to do that and have to 3M everything back on. I don't think it's too bad for somebody that's never wrapped a vehicle before. So we're gonna try to video a little bit more on the other side because we had a lot of struggles with this big area right here. So we're hoping we can knock that one out a little bit easier this time because we breezed through the doors. The doors were easy, the front fender was easy. So if we can knock this big part out on the other side here, we'll be home free pretty much. All right, so it is the next day and we didn't get anything accomplished on this side. There's some time lapse that I started taking, and you can see that we put it on here, and then we were doing pretty good getting this all smoothed out here, and then we got to here and it got a little hot with the heat gun and burnt through it. So then I went and cut another piece and got in a hurry, putting it on here and trimming it to get the big chunk of plastic off where the doors are, and then I cut it too short. It's around the corner back there. So then I wasted that whole piece. I didn't say wasted it, but it's rolled up over there. I can't use it here. I can use it for something else. But so then I said, we got to just stop. I can't just keep wasting material. So today I'm here by myself, don't have any help. So I'm going to try to wrap these two doors, maybe wrap this fender, and try to get it fixed because we got the mobile tent guy coming to tent the two front windows, match them to the back. So I need to have these two doors put back together and have them ready for that. I'm gonna attempt to do these doors by myself. We'll see how that goes. Well, we got all of the white done, other than that little strip I'm gonna do at the front across the roof and the little small part above the back. It is 1 o'clock in the morning. We're both tired. Kyle's gotta go to work in the morning and I gotta come back out here because we got tomorrow and Friday to wrap this up, get the shop all cleaned up for the party, and I will have some time on Saturday, which I do not want to have to push to get anything done Saturday because we've been staying out here till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning doing this the last 2 nights. Well, 3 nights technically, but the white is done. Hell, I got an hour's worth of picking up to do because it looks like a tornado hit a trailer park coming through here. I mean, we got wrapped, which I mean, I know this is what happens when you do it. We got wrapped stuff everywhere. It's the next day, Troy's back. He's installing some door handles while I've been cleaning up the tornado that hit the shop yesterday. Getting that cleaned up because we had tripping hazards. Look at Troy's neat little, I mean, look at this. Look, we can just stick tools all over his little magnetic wrist thing. I mean,
Cross between Magneto and a Power Ranger.
it's like Inspector Gadget kind of thing.
I think all works.
So he's doing door handles, and I'm getting ready to set a table up and try to figure out how to lay out all these trim pieces so that I don't waste any material, because I don't have anything to waste, I don't think. I got to sand where these holes were, where someone had riveted this panel on before. I just filled it with JB Weld. I'm gonna sand it smooth. I figured that was better than Bondo, drawing moisture to it.
And I'd like to thank Gary for all his help.
He's done a lot. I mean, look how good he did wrapping.
He did.
You couldn't have put that door handle in without him.
Closest thing Gary comes to wrapping is throwing wrapping paper on the floor from his fast food.
You should name your little wrist thing Gary.
Sack.
We'll write Gary on sack.
That's a good idea. This is more useful than Gary.
It's a sack wristlet. We need to get Gary 2 of those. Just have him wear them around.
Probably put 2 of them together to fit around his arm.
All right, so since I was technically short on material because I thought I was going to wrap the color a different way, this is the only way I came up with to figure out how to get this on paper. And me and Troy sat here and almost looked like we were doing a math equation or something. And that's the only way we could get it all laid out on the paper, and that's leaving me. So these are all cut probably an inch bigger than they need to be to make sure I had enough room. This gives me plenty of fat around these back pieces here. And we're gonna have to get it right the first time with this. So there it is. I'm gonna get busy cutting. Troy's got all our door handles on. Look fantastic.
They even work.
And they even work. We got the new mirrors on with the smoke cover. It looks great. I'm gonna get the keypad on the door over there, and Troy can start doing door panels while I start cutting that stuff. I'm waiting to do the headlight cutout until I get done wrapping because it's gonna make a ton of dust in here. So I just found out what Troy's favorite thing is. It's that dinger. Is that the last door panel?
Yep. No, because you've been
One more.
this one.
All right, he's got one more door panel. They're all on. We found out I need to get a mirror toggle switch, control switch. That's it. So while he was doing that, I got all of these cut out. I got that one done, and it's not bad doing it, but them little grooves down there are very time consuming. Did you break something?
I don't remember taking that off.
You did.
I don't know.
Miss Molly's
Don't tell
gonna
Miss Molly.
be. She's gonna be pissed.
I know.
That color looks amazing compared to the old one. I'm thinking about doing that on my truck now. Kyle's putting the last emblem on this side. I think he's gonna work on that wrap on the roof and the one on the back. And I'm gonna keep wrapping on these. All right, windows are tinted. We went 15 on the front because I know Miss Automedic won't want it as dark as my truck is, which is fine. And this is 15 over the factory, which matches the back here. So that's all matched up. We used flip side tint here. He's mobile, does great work, and I think we kind of built a relationship up here, and he'll be doing some other trucks that I'm buying and selling, and when I have other stuff to do like that. He was very impressed with our wrap job. He's like, "This is your first wrap?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, I think at this point, we're about 36 hours into the wrapping process. So you can see why somebody charges so much to do it, but we're getting this all done for under 600 bucks in materials on the wrap. But anyways, shout out to Flipside 10 here. Tires are off. I might as well mention that. We're getting the 315s mounted right now for that. We'll have to see how our time goes. I know we're going out to eat for Miss Automedic's birthday tonight. And we'll get done what we can tonight, and then the rest will have to get done tomorrow. We're gonna try to do the lift shackles on the front and add those leaves back to the B-code, the modded B-code springs in the back that we have a video on also. But try to get that done so it'll be just, everything will be looking great on it then. So Lee's gonna get busy. I'm gonna finish trimming that vinyl back there that we didn't finish last night because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, see how this looks with some headlights, I hope. Hey guys, this is the last late nighter we're pulling to wrap this up. Me and Lee are gonna try to tie up a few more things here tonight and hopefully have very little to do tomorrow because we're doing the party tomorrow evening. So I got this one side all cut out for the newer style headlights. That's the cutout side versus the uncut side here. So we're gonna do all that, get the lights all mounted up. Kyle got her a new set of LEDs. His buddy has an LED business. And anyways, new LED headlights. And then we can throw the grill on. I think the emblem probably came in while we were out to eat for the grill. So we should be able to get all this wrapped up for sure tonight. I'd love to get the leaf spring hangers put on. That it's actually a leveling kit for the front, and maybe at the most leave it where we just got to put those leaf springs on the back. Me and Lee can do that in probably right at an hour or less maybe. All right, Julie wanted the fun. Hey, don't pull the plastic off that headlight because we're short 130-157 amber bulb for that one, so that light is not mounted. That's why it looks crooked, but that one's done. I had one. All right, pull it off. She wanted the satisfaction of pulling the plastic off everything. Oh, look how shiny. All right, pull the plastic off the grill. And the bumper is not tightened up or adjusted, so don't judge that. Oh, wow. Looks good. Gave it a big facelift. All right, we gotta get it on the lift and see if we can't do this leveling kit and add the leaf springs back on the back. So we raised the truck up and we got all of our bolts broke loose. We lowered the truck back down. We got it sitting on jack stands, so the weight of the axle is sitting on that so that when I undo this, it doesn't try to drop. So now we're gonna remove our bolts and then start putting the shackle on. We'll probably have to raise the truck up just a little bit. All right, so I ended up taking the shocks loose. I took the sway bar link loose because I felt like I was fighting with getting this lined up. And then it was really close. And the only challenge I was having was getting the leaf springs over enough to start getting them lined up in the shackle. So this is what I had to do. Ratchet strap around the lift up there to the frame, and another ratchet strap over to my post, and I just snugged them up. They're not super tight, but it helped pull this leaf spring up. So what I'm really fighting is the track bar. I probably am gonna have to buy an adjustable track bar because this is probably shifting the axle to the driver's side of the truck slightly. We'll see how bad it is. I thought I was wrapping this up, and then I saw that the bolt holes that go through the lower portion of the sway bar links were gonna be right there at the leaf spring, and there's not much clearance. So it needs longer sway bar links, and those are the cheap AutoZone, whatever, just aftermarket ones that you can't replace the bushings in, which I'm not really a fan of those. So I had these laying on the shelf. These are factory off of a 250 or a 350, whatever. And I took another one and sacrificed it and cut. This is like, I think this is right at 2 inches out of one. And I'm gonna extend these, and these actually still have pretty good bushings on them. They're not bad yet, but when they do go bad, we'll replace them with the Prothane ones. I just don't have any on the shelf right now. And I'm gonna weld this back together. I'm gonna make sure not to get this end hot so I don't ruin this bushing. But that'll drop it down and fix it where it'll clear the leaf springs. Won't have to worry about the bolt head or anything coming in contact with the leaf spring as the suspension compresses. So I'm gonna weld these up. I'll show them to you after I weld them up. All right, so we got the front all done. There's the sway bar links. Worked out great. Anthony's getting the shocks loose. And then we're gonna actually have some new U-bolts back there too to replace these that I reused the last time and get this thing apart. All right, springs are on. Everything's done. Me and Kyle and Anthony just got done wiping it all down. All tire shined up. We got our disco light going in the shop. We are ready to party. But no, really, it's super shiny and really slick. And I just used McGuire's Quick Daytime. You're on YouTube.
Party time!
Yeah, and Mama-in-law is getting the party ready. We're staying ADA compliant here. But yeah, we're all cleaned up, so we will see y'all next on the reveal. Because I gotta go get cleaned up now myself. Isn't that right, Diesel?
I can't see.
I got you.
Keep your eyes closed. What do you think?
Wow.
What do you think?
It's so good. Looks brand new.
New tires, lift. I wrapped it. 36 hours on the wrapping.
Wow.
Did you see the windows?
How'd you manage that?
Just, you knew I was doing something to it. All right, guys, it's the next day. We're going to take the all cleaned up and newly outfitted Excursion on his maiden voyage real quick. Me and Lee just trimmed the front lower, whatever you want to call it, chin spoiler, lower valance, whatever, down there on the front. Trim that at an angle, kind of follow the angle of the tire. Anyway, so that'll clear and not rub. We're going to take her for a spin now, see how she does, and then we'll go over everything we did and what all we spent money-wise on it, and then we'll wrap this up. And I really enjoyed this project, so we'll talk about it more in a minute. What do you think?
That's good.
She drives better than she ever has, I think. So, doing our little shakedown run, realized I need to adjust the steering because we lifted it a little bit. Didn't think about that until just now. Speedometer needs to be adjusted because we went from 33s to 35s. What else, Lee? Is that it? I think that's it. So, other than that, man, it drives a lot better with that wider tire, which I think it's, I don't know, maybe an inch wider, but it feels good. It feels solid. Putting the other leaves back in the back, I like the ride with that too. It doesn't feel as floaty. Feels like it stiffened the ride up without being harsh, which I like. So. So we had a great test drive. Truck rides great, drives great. Steering feels real good and solid, and the bigger tires, I think, made the truck feel more stable on the road to me. Here's our parts breakdown here. So we had the paintless dent removal that we did prior to doing any of this at my friend that has a body shop. There's about a handful of dents that he took out. 120 bucks. The wrap material, that's including tools, the knifeless tape, all that stuff was $672. Door handles were $75 from 1A Auto. Mirrors are $135. The grill was $155. Headlights $125. The lift shackles for the front, 48 bucks. I bought 2 tires that were now out of stock, older tires from a tire shop that were brand new for $509. Troy had the 2 that were very gently used. Didn't hardly have any miles on them that he just gave me. So we got all the tires done for $509. The window tint, the 2 fronts, and I had to have one of the rears retinted because somebody had pulled that tint off at some point and matched it back to the back. It is $180. I bought the sub off a marketplace for $75, and then a wiring kit off Amazon for 20 bucks. New wiper motor, $62. The little stubby antenna, $35. The 4 of them that we still don't have yet is $46. I put $100 in on miscellaneous, and the total cost to make Miss Automedic happy was $2,357. I'm sure I probably missed something. We did an oil change and stuff like that along with this. That really doesn't count with, I don't think, for making the truck look any different, but it was just routine maintenance. But anyways, hope y'all enjoyed the video. It was a really fun project. I enjoyed having just the whole week, and I put everybody else off. It was spring break, and got this wrapped up for her. So she's got a truck that looks good, that she's happy with, that is what she really wanted from the beginning, as far as the way it looks now. So looks great. So even old redneck can do a wrap. It was a little bit intimidating at first, but once you kind of get the feel for it and you take your time and take everything apart, and especially prepping, you got to treat it almost like you're painting the truck. No dust, nothing on it. So try to wrap something yourself, experiment around with it, because I mean, I got hardly anything in it compared to what it was going to cost to actually have it done at a shop. So It's Automedic Garage signing out. Go check out all of our other content on the channel. Lots of 7.3 and 6.0 and forward content here on the channel. We got more stuff coming up. We're going to be doing some more stuff to the Excursion here in the future. I got to do some stuff to my truck. We got to do a motor swap in the old 67, but lots of stuff on the channel. We appreciate y'all watching and subscribing and sticking on with us. Go check us out at automedicgarage.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll holler at y'all later.